Hello, my name is Matthias Cavodi. I'd like to welcome you guys to my channel. Today we're going to talk about the conclusion of the Earth X story. As I mentioned in the previous video, Earth X is part of a trilogy of series. You had Earth X, Universe X, you have Universe X here, right here, and Paradise X. Before I spoil the hell out of the end of this particular story, all three X series are fantastic. And also, as I mentioned before, I feel like it's like the definitive Marvel story. It gives you a nice conclusion to each one of these characters' story arcs. It feels very plausible within the Marvel 616 universe that this could happen. And that's why I enjoy it so much. The story is written by Jim Krueger and Alex Ross. Alex Ross obviously does the incredible covers. This is some of my favorite Alex Ross work, hands down. And the artist within the issues, also Alex did the character designs. Like, I really love the character designs in each one of these stories that take place in each one of these series. And sadly, they've not popped up in any other stories outside of this. In Jonathan Hickman's Secret Wars, the Earth X didn't pop up, at least to my knowledge. I might be wrong. And art by John Paul Leon, that it's really good. Actually, John Paul, I think he only does the art in the first series in Earth X, and he's missed in the Universe in Paradise. I liked his work more compared to the artist in the other two series. All of these Earth X issues, you have an introduction focusing on one major Marvel character. Sometimes some pretty obscure characters popped up in these, telling you the origins of this character and stuff like that, and how this character actually ties into the bigger picture, how they're a very important player within these very, very fascinating plots that they want to tell us in these stories. And in the Earth X story, because each one of these actually goes in chronological order, so this is like the big first part of this big three-part story. And it's a whole question that within Earth, there's a celestial that's going to be born, and that's why the Celestials created super beings, actually as antibodies to keep this newborn safe from danger. That's why they created the Eternals, tinkered with human genome so mutants can pop up, also the deviants and all of that. So, and the Inhumans, in a way, because there's always been enemies, the Krees and Celestials, and humans actually sort of threw a wrench within the Celestial plans. They're not down with this idea, because once the Celestial's born, the planet's gone. So we discovered that Galactus actually is his role in the galaxy actually is to keep the population of Celestials down. He consumes them before they're born. So Galactus is like the Celestials' arch enemy, have arrived on Earth. We have Tony Stark. We discover that Black Bolt dispersed the Tyrogen mist all across Earth. Everyone got powers, and it was like a last-ditch effort into trying to stop the Celestials. Tony Stark went into hiding, so he never got contaminated with the Tyrogen mist. He became this Howard Hughes type of persona, and he's created the ultimate Iron Man armor. It's a full-blown mech, Pacific Rim. It's the whole Stark factory, Stark Industries factory. It's a gigantic armor. He goes at it alone against the Celestials. We have Loki, also had to discover this plan. We discover later, thanks to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is the one that put the ball rolling into this rebellion against the Celestials and stopping their plan. And we discover that actually the Asgardians are aliens that didn't have any shape. This is like the big secret, and I really love this origin for the Asgardians. Shapeless aliens that arrived on Earth, and they were molded because the first humans they had contact with, they became their gods because of their culture and their stories and mythologies, and they were molded in base of other people's beliefs. So they're gods because people think they're gods. So if everyone dies, Loki, that's his argument here, they're gonna die. Technically, they're gonna disappear because no one's gonna believe in them anymore. Loki's actually like a hero in this story. He can't convince Odin. He goes to hell, but he's able to convince everyone who's within Hell's realm to also attack the Celestials. So he has this super powerful mech armor that's gigantic. He doesn't stand a chance against the Celestials, but he nobly tries and sacrifices himself. Poor Tony dies. You have the Silver Surfer. He arrives with Shalabal because in the previous video, Black Bolt went into space, confronted the Celestials, but actually he was calling out to Galactus. But who is Galactus? Because Reed Richards actually made the mistake of turning Galactus into a star, so he would stop consuming planets. So it's a big mystery. Who the hell's Galactus? Again, if you haven't read this, don't let me spoil it because it's really awesome. So we have issue X, the final issue of the Earth X story arc. Galactus arrives. He gets into an epic battle against the Celestials. With all the monsters of the deep also attack the Celestials. This is like this whole issue is just, oh, it's freaking epic. It's so well done. You feel like the stakes are really high. It's very well told, this story. The Celestials easily deal with all these sea monsters. Take down poor Namor. Also, he doesn't stand a chance. Silver Surfer, Shalabal gets killed in the conflict. And here we get this moment where Galactus creates this gun and just obliterates one of the Celestials. It looks so cool. Like, this page is freaking epic. MCU should go in this direction. They should end all MCU with like an Earth X type of story arc. That would be really, really awesome. So, Asgardians that were in Hell also start attacking, and but the Celestials are able to deal with them because they know their nature. They know what they are. So they make the Asgardians remember that they're these shapeless aliens and depend on the belief. So they start dropping poor guys like flies. Richard, sorry, I hit the camera there, realizes who's Galactus. He goes down to Earth. Galactus is able to stop the Celestial attack. And we discover that Galactus is actually Franklin Richards. The universe needs a Galactus. Once Reed Richards disposed of the original Galactus, Franklin, due to the nature of the evolution of powers, that they really touch on how powers evolve and there's like they go up a certain scale. He had to fill the void. The universe needed a Galactus, and Franklin became the heir to Galactus. He converted, and it's heartbreaking, this part, because he can't make Franklin Richards remember that he's Franklin. He's not. The universe is going to be without a Galactus if he remembers who he is. So as a father, this moment's heartbreaking. He says, Galactus, you did a good job. And you can see that poor Reed, he's suffering, man. He wants to go out and just give his gigantic kid a hug, but he can't because the universe needs him. He's like a universal constant. As we saw in previous stories, the Watchers as a race are in cahoots with the Celestials. They're the one taking care and keeping a watchful eye over the Celestial baby within the planet. So X-51, really pissed off with the situation, who was doing the watching for the Watcher, unplugs him, leaves him abandoned. This moment's also very well written because Watcher treats X-51 as a toaster oven, basically. Didn't recognize his humanity. He tells him, X-51, please don't leave me, please don't leave me. And at the last line is Aaron. He calls him by his human name, which he never called him like that. But this is like an act of desperation. So the plan is to burn the tears and mist out of Earth's atmosphere. So they create a bunch of these torches. We get the big reveal. Captain Marvel is going to come back. He's going to be reborn because something really big is coming down the line. So, hope you guys like this video. If you haven't read Earth X, really, really you have to go out and get your hands on all three of these series. Especially the first one. No, all three are great. I love all three. So, see you guys next time.